Hello, hello. Hey, Faith.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? We have Fimi on the line. She's gonna be coming in a little bit. She's on her way to Cancun and making it happen. So we're super excited to launch this and really take it and run with it because everything that we do, everything that we've learned, we get to bring it to you guys and really bridge the gap. That's the point of this call, is to bridge the gap between the information that we know, that we've gathered, that we've sought and found counseling and guidance on, and really bring it to everybody that shows up, and to really level up the next person. And so we're both really excited. First couple minutes of this call, we're just gonna wait till a few people get on. There's a few more people that have gotten the link, and take it and run with it. Hello, Fimi.
Hey, what's going on? I'm super excited.
Let's get it. How are you?
I get miracles and I expect miracles.
Everything's working in your favor.
Amen.
Cool. Okay, guys, while we're waiting for a few more people, they may or may not join us, we are going to start off with gratitude. So in the comments, go ahead and drop gratitude in anything you're grateful for today. But that's how we kind of like to start, because if we start in a state of gratitude, everything else just flows from there. So I'm personally grateful for just the ability to have friends all over the world through social media and through calls like these, because it's really, really powerful when you find people all over the world that have the common thread of wanting to have genuine relationships and build community and grow our mindset together. It's something that I'll never take for granted. So I'm super grateful for that for today. And if you guys want to share your screen or say it out loud, go for it. If you want to leave it in the chat, feel free to do that too.
I love that. Yes, because gratitude is the source where all things come from. So anything you ever want to do and accomplish in life, you have to be grateful for where you're now. I'm grateful for my life, body, mind, spirit. I'm grateful for my family and my kids. I'm grateful for this community that we have. I'm grateful for our mentors, the people that take time to pour into us when they don't have to, when they really don't. Yeah, I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for every moment.
Love it. I love it. Faith's grateful for her dog. I love it. What kind of dog is it? Ariana's grateful for her mom. Super sweet. Moms are the goats.
Yes.
Ooh, a blue healer mix. That's awesome, Faith. Sweet. All right, cool. Yeah. Amazing. So, we are going to just take it and run with it. Sounds good? Let's see. All right, so Femi and I, couple weeks, honestly, probably like last week, decided, you know what, we really just want to be able to create a space for people to come into and have the ability to understand a little bit more about themselves, understand how they're wired, understand why their mind's the way that it is, and how to take it to the next level, because both of us in our journeys have understood things differently along the way, and we've been able to find the tools, find the resources, find the mentors, pay the money, pay the things, find the trips, and go acquire this information that's needed to actually change our way of thinking in order to get different results. Because you can't get the same, you can't change your results if you keep doing the same thing. So the only way that we can do something different is by the only way we can get a new result is by doing something different with new information.
Mm-hmm.
So we've sought out information, sought out guidance, sought out counsel, and our mission is to bridge the gap between that information and the information that you guys have, and the information that anybody watching this later on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of these things, so that you guys can start to change the way that your mind is wired. Because we're literally just programmed, and we've both understood that we can unprogram ourselves. We can actually do the work and put a new program into our brain and literally start to change the way that we operate. And so with that being said, I'm excited to have you, Femi. I'm excited to have this conversation and really just level up.
No, facts. And it's beautifully said, everything that you mentioned, and it's needed. And I don't think there's enough spaces like this, because one of the biggest things is everyone's always saying they know. I know. But there's a huge difference between knowing and understanding, right? Because to know and not, and not to do it is to not know at all. So therefore, people saying that they know, you really don't, because you have not yet upgraded your life. You have not yet done it consistently enough. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be tuning into this call. You probably wouldn't be going through the things that you're going through and in the same cycles that you are, because you truly don't understand yet. Right? So these calls are for that, and also too, it's definitely a safe and judgment-free space. But the thing about, unlearning and growing the mind is you already have to accept hard truths. Like, that's it. God bless you. You have to accept hard truths, and there will be a lot on this journey. And, and I'm excited for all the breakthroughs, whether we know about the stories or not. We know that we're planting seeds, and we know that they'll happen because this same information did that for us, so, definitely be gracious with yourself and be honest and be direct with yourself. It's not even, on these calls, you have to be completely vulnerable, even though remember that there is power in vulnerability. There is healing in vulnerability. But there's no pressure here as well for that. But in learning all of this and in going and being in this space in general, you must face the hard truths. You must have those conversations with yourself. You are free to share. You have this support. This is now a space where you have that support, and you can hit up me or Grace and say, hey, I'm going through X, Y, and Z, like, what are some ways to deal with it? Or what books can I read? Or what audios did you use? Or what information did you use to help, have, conquer this situation, whatever it may be. But I'm truly excited as well, girl. I believe that everything that you do, you must do intentionally. And with that intention, whether you see it or not, somebody's being impacted.
Facts. Sweet. I even today, Femi was being tested, and because of personal development, because of the information that we now have, it was literally a done deal. Both of us were like, "That's go pass the test. You're good. We're gonna figure it out." And a couple years ago, that wouldn't have been the same case. And so it's really cool to watch each other go through life and figure it out and understand that everything has a deeper reason and a deeper meaning to it. And there's what we call spiritual, and it's not religious, and it's not um crazy out there things. It's literally the other stuff that's happening in the world outside of what's physical. And the physical has we view the world by like our senses. Our five senses dictate the majority of the things that we see. And we do it with sight, sound, taste, touch, feel. But what we're missing is the other six faculties. We have higher faculties that no other species has on the planet. We have the ability to have perception, reason, memory, will, imagination, and intuition. And these skills and these faculties that we have the ability to use, they just have to be trained. And I didn't know any of this when I first started. And I was like, wow, you're telling me I can just learn more about these spiritual side of success and actually understand on a deeper level what's happening. And that to me was really, really powerful. So
I love that. And it's funny because like in my mind, I was like, yeah, we should start with the faculties, and that's the first thing you said.
no.
It's amazing how we're always in sync. Like I can't with that. I believe it though, but it's wild. But even with those, like even with the faculties, like it's nothing that is, because some people have, you're probably on this call, you either have heard somewhat of these terms or you've never heard any of these at all. um, do not be overwhelmed and don't think that it's something that just because it's new to you that you can't learn or you can't process, because this is an everyday thing. Grace and I are like working on our faculties daily. The only difference between you and us is time experience. Like that's it. In the moments that we dedicated to put these into practice, to learn these, to apply them, and for them to be subconsciously planted in us. And I love the fact that you brought that example, of us being like me being challenged earlier, because honestly, you guys, personal development is the anchor you have when everything fades away,
Hmm.
when nothing makes sense, when things are going left, when you're not understanding why the people that you thought were going to support you aren't there, when that business fails, or when that idea doesn't, whatever the case may be, personal development. Okay. And one thing to grasp the higher faculties, one thing I would say is repetition for sure. And constantly put yourself in position and be around the things that will help you exercise these five faculties. Your reason, your will, your imagination, like all these things, the way that you sharpen them is being around conversations like this, because there is healing conversations. People may not know what you're going through, but just hearing the right thing, the one thing that you probably needed for whatever that you're going through. And the books and audios, a lot of people, I'm not a reader, I didn't grow up reading X, Y, and Z. Listen, you must do the things that you've never done to go to places you've never been.
Hmm.
So you have ideas and goals and these things that you see in your mind, you feel them in your heart, and you don't know the how, and that's okay, because we're never really supposed to know the how. It's the what do I do to become better? Like who am I becoming? And who you're becoming is tied in with those faculties, because your five senses will lie to you. How do you consistently wake up every day positive and your bank is in the negatives? How do you do that? Higher faculty,
Yep.
imagination. The Your mind does not know the difference between reality and your imagination. It doesn't know the difference. And once you know that, you have to constantly keep imprinting, keep planting the things that you want over and over and over again. Because guess what? Your mind on a scientific level will now create a neurotransmitter, a neural pathway, and be like, okay, we have to go get this thing because, he or she's always thinking about it. And what's great about that is, you guys, your mind is the best detective in the world. If you're constantly telling yourself or talking in your mind and saying things like, oh, there's no good people, I can't trust nobody, all these people are snakes, X, Y, and Z, guess what? Your mind will find all of those reasons to prove you right. And it's also to the opposite. If you know that you're successful, you know that you're meant for more, and you know that the light that's inside of you is for a reason, you will find all the right people, all the right conversations, the right books, the right audios, all the right things will start following your lap because you're saying that. So therefore your mind is, doing it for you. Your mind is literally here to just protect you. That's all it knows. So on this journey of understanding higher faculties, it's nothing that's gonna just come. It's again repetition, books, audios, and these environments and these conversations and asking questions. The quality of your life is equivalent to the questions that you ask, the quality of the questions that you ask. So what are you asking yourself? When you're in a situation and it really doesn't make sense, like what are you really asking? Are you just, pointing fingers again, blaming things again, or not even self-talk? Are you negatively blaming yourself, telling yourself how stupid you are, or you shouldn't have done that, or, again, that's why I said earlier, have grace with yourself, because understanding these faculties is nothing easy because we weren't taught it. It's not part of our programming. We don't know anything about it. Professors, people that have PhDs that are teaching psychology in college and universities and world-renowned places and having conversations cannot tell you what these faculties are. It's wild. So take this information and and run with them and study them and learn about them. I'm gonna put them in the chat, and I'm also gonna drop a video from
Sweet.
Bobby P about higher faculties so you guys can dive into that.
Take that and run with it, guys. When I started learning about Bob Proctor and his explanation of the subconscious and conscious mind, like he changed my world. And now being able to understand that on a deeper level every single day gets better and better with my ability to practice imagination, to practice all of these things. And yeah, take that video that Femi's going to drop in the chat, save it, and then watch it. Just repetition, repetition, repetition.
Oh, perfect. Just found it.
Sweet.
I love this. And also too, I do want this to, and I'll probably keep mentioning it every call. Like, if you ever have questions about certain things that you do want to talk about, certain things that, you want to find, like, how do we deal with this? And how do we, whatever the case may be, like, I always know that you have this space. Like, we'll probably have a portion of that where it's open and we're asking, something that you may need to hear, or even if it's, to the side or on this call, whichever one, whatever it may be, you guys, like, this is the space for that, because the mind it is the most delicate thing in the world, yet the strongest. It's so easily influenced, yet so difficult to unprogram.
That's the truth.
It is. It
There's certain
is.
things where I'm like, man, trying to unlearn, the process of unlearning. We think that it would be a lot easier. You're like, oh, I know the new answer. I know the right thing now. But it's such a subconscious level of understanding that it takes repetition and repetition and repetition and repetition to create a new story. And I love what you're saying. Talk a little bit about I know when we first started understanding more about mindset, there's a lot to be confused kind of on mindset and motivation. What's your go-to when people are like, motivation doesn't work?
OMG. Mindset is not motivation.
Mm,
Mindset is not motivation. Mindset is not motivation. And I think that is like one of the biggest misconception to why people don't feel like they need mindset or they need motivation. Or the other day, I had a conversation with someone and I usually have like polls on my stories. And, I was asking about topics and they clicked the mindset aspect. But then once I started talking to them, they're like, oh, like, I don't need any more self-help videos. Like, I've done enough self-help things and motivational things. Like, now it's just something that I need to do alone.
mm,
Mindset is not something you do alone. That's one thing. I understand, like, yes, it's so funny. It sounds contradicting, but it's true. Yes, it is your mind. And yes, it is up to you and your efforts and the things that, you put in place to, grow your mind. But you have to outsource, like, you have to go to, to things that are outside of you. Um, Motivation is fleeting because when you don't feel like doing what you're supposed to do, what gets you up?
mm,
What moves you? Because sometimes even your why isn't strong enough to push you out of bed or to make you go do that task or make you go to work. Like that's sometimes not enough. But that's why you need your mindset because like that is your anchor. That's your anchor. Because in mindset, for you to even have a strong mindset, a growth mindset, a wealthy mindset, it goes down to the basis of self-discipline.
mm.
The definition of discipline is giving yourself a demand and following it through. Now, once you do that consistently enough, it becomes the fifth level of learning. It becomes, unconsciously, it's subconscious, but it's automatic.
Unconscious.
It's something that, yes, exactly. And you don't have to blink. You don't have to, you just get up and you do it. That's where we want to get at when it comes to the aspect of mindset. Motivation is cool. Like that is just the fuel to the fire. That's just the extra seasoning to the meal. But it's not, your motivation cannot replace your mindset, nor the work for your mindset. And I think it's really, really important to understand that because like once you have that misconception out the way, now you're faced with, okay, do I actually want to do the things that I'm supposed to do? Like,
Mm,
am I gonna just go through with it and do it? Or I'm just going to, put myself in the aspect of, not thinking when you don't, emotional integrity, when you say that you're gonna do something and then you don't do it, your body and your spirit and your mind becomes disaligned and your mind no longer trusts you. Yeah,
wow.
I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna go to the gym. Gym comes around the time frame. You wrote it down. You put it on your schedule. You ask people to hold you accountable for it, and then you didn't do it. The same way your mind creates neural adaptations, like it creates a pathway in your mind to become automatic. It does that with your negative habits. It does that with your lack of self-discipline. It does that with your lack of mindset. So it's really important to understand that because only then will you actually truly be beginning the steps to, okay, having this new habit, having this mindset, this bulletproof mindset that you need. Because it doesn't matter if you don't win the battle on the field as long as you win the battle in your mind.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. I love what you said about the if we say something and we don't do it, our body and our spirit knows. And that's what we like. I've learned a lot about self-esteem and self-worth and this whole journey of like understanding I can trust me. I can trust my word. And the reason other people may or may not trust me is because I'm literally not trusting myself. And so if somebody's not trusting me, it's because I don't even trust me. And so in order to get people to trust me, I had to really take a look and be like, do I even trust me? Do I show
Wow.
up to the things that I said I would show up to when I said I would do it and do the things that I said I would do? And I did at the time have um a certain level of discipline, but I would say that it's dramatically gotten better the longer that I've actually understood on a deeper level. When I commit to something, I do it because I know that if I don't do it in my spirit, in my heart, it matters, and it really does start to chip away. We can either add deposits or we can add credit, and it's like you can either take away or you can add to it. And the if we just keep taking away from our own self-esteem, we don't even trust ourselves, and so everybody else around us doesn't trust us, and we wonder, why does nobody want to do anything? Because they don't trust you, because you create this feeling. And so when I can say that I got up, I did my morning routine, I did the things that I said I was going to do when I said I was going to do it, it matters. And that's why I like to put things on social media, because it holds me accountable. It holds me to a higher standard. And that's why I like to invite other people into it, because it's way easier to do something with people than it is to do it by yourself. Most people are
Mm,
accountable to other people before they'll be accountable to themselves. And so you have to build this process of being accountable to yourself. Now, when you can do it by yourself, that's a different level. But when you first start understanding this process, and I honestly just like doing it with people anyway, but when you can start to hold yourself accountable on things, you have this bulletproof feeling that I can't explain. Like, it is unreal what you can do when you're like, I trust myself. I don't care what anybody else. I did the things I said I was going to do when I said I was going to do them. I trust myself. And getting to that point is very, very powerful.
mm-hmm. I love that. It's so key too. And that I love what you said. You're wondering why people don't want to do things with you, or people don't trust you because you create this feeling.
Mm,
That, like, everything, the law of vibration is everything. Everything vibrates, everything has a frequency. And one thing about energy introduces you before you introduce yourself. And that ties into, what she was saying, the self-esteem and being honest with yourself. And what's wild about the mind, you will create this habit of convincing yourself that you trust yourself. And that's scary. And for me personally, like, when it came to facing certain things and wanting certain things, like, I had to, like, have that mirror work. I had to really sit down and be like, okay, why am I, telling myself that I trust myself when I truly don't feel like I do? When I doubt everything and I second guess everything, like, what's making me feel this way? What's causing that feeling? And the root of a lot of things, you guys, is our emotions. On my wall, I would have shown you guys, but I'm not home right now. But on my wall, I have a note card that says, God created emotions to guide,
mm,
but you're supposed to execute with your mind. How are you supposed to, but how can you execute with your mind if your emotions are all wrapped up and jangled, and anything can pull you, right? I also too have the emotional guidance skill. If you guys don't know what that is, I'll while Grace is,
I'll put the link.
either me or Grace will drop C on it. Um, I literally keep that on my wall, not only for myself, but also too for my kids, because I'm aware that my kids are watching how I deal with my emotions and how I respond versus react, which we'll get into. But the feeling, you guys, like, how you feel literally creates everything else, right? Because how you feel will create these thoughts, and your thoughts create your life. So if you're constantly feeling down or negative, your thoughts will be doubtful. Your thoughts will not be bulletproof. That feeling she's talking about, yo, it's literally something you, like, we are on that on that aspect of like wanting everyone to feel that, because it is a part of you, because your energy, like I said, introduces you, right? And when you step in a room, people know when you're not confident. People know when you have things going on with yourself, because that's the energy that you are releasing. And then and then the thing is, you start attracting people like that.
Hmm.
And you wonder why, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be around, this environment and all of these things in between. But you're not changing your energy, because you're not paying attention to your emotions, because you're not asking yourself why you're feeling this way. And then it just becomes a cycle. Like, your thoughts dictate your behavior. How you think and how you feel is what your behavior will be.
Wow. Wowza. I'm gonna drop this link in the chat. It's got a little bit more information, but it's got the photo of the emotional guidance scale. And guys, when it comes to the emotional guidance scale, our only goal is to get to the next emotion. So we're not gonna make these drastic jumps. But if we're in a vibration of doubt, what's the next highest vibration? Because then we can unspiral the spiral. So we can take the spiral back upwards.
I love that. I love that. And that's the thing too, like, and I love that you said that. We think that building a bulletproof mindset or having a bulletproof mindset has to be like these drastic changes. They do not, you guys. Start with the smallest things. If you're having a day where your doubts are drowning you, your thoughts are negative, they're drowning you, all you have to do is look for the next emotion that's higher than what you're feeling. The goal is to feel good, because when you feel good, you can create. And you have to feel good. You have to be in high vibration, in good emotions. In good emotions, you create. In good emotions, things happen. In good emotions, you can manifest. In good emotions, the things in the alignment, in the people, and the significant other, the goals, whatever it is, all of those things are on that spectrum. You will always be like, you will always be far staying in that emotion that you're in, but it's literally just the next step. Okay, you feel like you don't want to do anything today, find something that'll get you to that emotion. Do things that make you feel good, you guys. Like, I know the goal is to be, have the time freedom, have the location freedom, have the financial freedom, and all of those things, but do not forget to have fun with your spirit. Because once you do something, if you need to get out of funk, do something that you love. Like, I'll be in the middle of a work day and I'm like, why do I have all these doubtful thoughts? I'll put in my headphones and I'll start grooving. I'll start dancing, because I love dancing. Dancing is like, that's part of my spirit, and it just it just does something to me. And then I'll feel amazing. Wash my face, wash it off, take a shower, and then get back into it. Because when you feel good, you can conquer the world. When you're in that good emotion, you get stuff done, even if it's just one emotion. I'm not saying, you're down and you have to try to feel like completely optimistic. No, just feel good. Just get to neutral, and then tackle your day and tackle the things that you have to do.
I love that. One of the things that one of the MMX educators teaches on, she talks a lot about confidence, and the way she's trained her kids and other people is when we have those thoughts of doubt or self-doubt, she literally says the word cancel, cancel, cancel out loud 3 times. Cancel, cancel, cancel. And her kids do it now, her friends do it now. Because when these doubts come up, I literally did it on the way to work yesterday. I was like starting to go down a rabbit trail, and I was like, that is not a good vibration thought. And I just said cancel, cancel, cancel. And then my brain's now wired to think of the next thing, to get rid of that thought, because if we keep going downwards, it doesn't help anybody or anything around us. And so that's a really simple way to say it out loud, to get your brain to shut off and move to the next thing. We do have 4 minutes left on this Zoom call. I'm all for jumping on starting a new one, opening it back up. Let me know what you guys are thinking, Femi. We can definitely go through some of the assignments. We don't want to give you guys a ton of homework, but
Mhm.
we do want to give you exercises and things to be able to implement, because
Mhm.
knowledge on ice does nothing. Application, applied knowledge is where we actually learn things. And so I know Femi had a few things that she's done that have really changed the way that she's been able to implement these things.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, you took the words right out my mouth. Application. It doesn't mean anything if you hop on these calls and you don't take one thing that you learned or you heard and then you apply it to yourself. Um, so just something simple. Everybody has 5 minutes a day to do this. Um, write 5 things that you love about yourself
Mm.
every day. Rain or shine, busy or not busy. Take 5 minutes, set an alarm, take 5 minutes, have something to always write with. You can even get like a small notebook from like Dollar Tree or the dollar store or something, or sticky notes, something that you can keep. And it does two things. Like the first thing, it it forces you to sit and think about yourself and who you are and what you actually like about yourself. And I'm telling you right now, you will have these random thoughts, these doubtful thoughts, and these things that you may have told yourself that you don't like. And cancel, cancel, cancel. You still need to write something that you love about yourself. And don't tell me that I don't know. And it can't be physical. It can't just be physical. The first 5 you probably can easily do, and then after that it gets difficult because then you have to really learn yourself and know yourself and think about who you are and what you like and aspects. Think about characteristics, think about events and situations and things that you felt good about yourself in that time and moment. You could like the way that you dress a certain way for a certain occasion. You could like the way that you respond. You could like the way that you know that you do a certain thing, whatever the case may be. Every day, 5 things. you know I love my eyes. I love my shoulders. I love the way my feet looks in these shoes. Like, think about it. And what this does, it's because your spirit is listening to yourself, and you're feeding your mind and you're feeding your heart, because we are not taught to take time to love ourselves.
Mm.
Self-love is, oh, just take yourself out to eat and go do something, and or buy yourself something. It's fine, those are forms, but internal self-love is you spending actual time with yourself. So that's it. Just take that time to do that every day, and you can share them if you want to, like, as in share how you feel, because you will see the difference on how you talk to yourself and how other people talk to you. Because once you start this habit, I've been doing it for 2 years now, and once you start this habit, like, certain way people talk to you, it's unacceptable, because you're like, I don't even talk to myself that way. What you got going on? You're gonna start checking people, but it starts first with checking yourself. So, write down 5 things that you love about yourself, and just keep track of it. Keep track of it. Keep track of your mind and see how it's changing things for you.
That's powerful, Femi. I love that a lot. We do have less than a minute, so I definitely want to see you guys back on Saturday. We're gonna be doing these every Saturday. And bring your homework, bring any information you have. I think we'll make a group chat. We can definitely make a group chat, and you can throw that in there and just start adding some
Hmm.
to it. So I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for you, Femi. I love that we get to do this together. And
Yes.
yeah, what are some
Grateful for you guys too. Stay positive, stay hydrated, and watch your thoughts.
Ariana, I'll message you. What is the word? Who ignores their sticky notes on accident? I'm honestly not sure. I don't want this to cut out while I'm talking, but